let's start by lying down to do an upside down squat. So just so that you can get to open the hips nicely and just get into the form of a squat that we'll be doing, upright in a bit. So as you come to lying down, just take your props aside, and as you lie down, bend your knees and draw your thighs in, and just draw the thighs in quite a bit. And reach your knees away from you with your knees projecting right into the palms of your hands so that you have a nice arch there. Now draw the knees in, and you'll just kind of notice that you're doing like a cat cow upside down here. If you're really pressing your femur, your thigh bone, into the palms of the hands as you reach your knees away from you, you feel this arch develop, and you feel a nice engagement of the muscles of the spine. Do that 2 more times. You draw in and you extend out. And on the exhale breath, you're drawing in. On the inhale breath, you're reaching out. Now, the toes are not passive while you're doing this. I should have given you that cue before. Let's do that 1 more time with the toes really spread, the feet really active, and the heels are not really close to your buttocks. They're slightly lifted away from the buttocks, and that alone will give you more curve. Now, draw your knees in while your femur is projecting into the palms of the hands. And that's the exhale breath when you come into this little ball. And on the inhale breath, you reach the knees away from you and you just refine that lumbar curve nicely. Now, draw your knees really close to you again. Take your hands right on the shin bones, or for some of you, the hands right on the feet, and spread your toes. So, with the knees bent, with the feet facing up toward the ceiling here, just inhale and lift your heart up so that you get this nice engagement, and exhale, draw down. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, rise up, exhale down, and one more. Inhale and exhale. Take your hands right between your legs here with your arms straight. Reach up toward the ceiling and inhale, pulse up, exhale, draw down. 2 more. Inhale, pulse up. Exhale down, and one more. Inhale, rise up. Exhale down. Take your hands over to the right side so they're outside of the right leg. Inhale, lift up toward the right side. Exhale down. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. And one more. Inhale and exhale. Other side. Come over to the left side with the arms straight, with the hands reaching toward the left side. Inhale, rise up. Exhale down, and inhale up. Exhale down. One more. Inhale up and exhale down, and hold on to your shins 1 more time, or your feet, and inhale, rise up. Exhale down, roll over. You use your hands to lift yourself up and to take yourself down, right? You want to always have the psoas in the more relaxed position when you are getting up and down. So come to all fours position, and with your toes tucked under, with all 10 toes pressing on the mat, just draw it back And so you're taking a little bit more weight here toward the heels. And inhale, rise up. Now point your toes and draw the pelvis back. So you're going, it's almost like you're going toward a child's pose here, but we're just working the ankles nicely today. Keep your fingers spread, the fingers planted as you tuck your toes under, and get all toes, even those baby toes, pressing down. Don't let the ankles draw away from each other. Hug them to the midline as you draw your pelvis back. Inhale, lift yourself up. And again, with the toenails flat, so you're pointing the foot as you draw the pelvis back. Now, the more powerful position of the foot is this dorsiflexion. When you tuck your toes under again, and you come to this child's pose with the toes tucked under, this dorsiflexion of the foot. That's really the one that protects your ankles more, the position that protects the ankles. So that's why we're always lifting and spreading the toes so fully. Inhale, lift up, point your toes, and with your toes pointed, draw your pelvis back. Do this 2 more times. Inhale, this dorsiflexion of the foot gives you strength, allows you to just kind of tune in to the Achilles tendon, to the soleus muscle that runs right in the middle of the calf there. And inhale, plantar flexion as you point your toes and draw the pelvis back. So make your way through downward facing dog. And as you come to downward facing dog, we'll be coming to Tadasana in a moment. But before we do, look at your ankles since we're focusing on them today. In downward facing dog, you might see some folds, some creases right at the top of your foot, at the ankle area. Lift your heels up so you don't have those creases, right? So that just gives a little bit more engagement in the feet, and it allows you to just be much more safe, allows for those collateral ligaments to do their things, to hold the ankle nice and stable in the practice. Now walk your feet up to your hands, and with bent knees, plant your hands to your low back and lift yourself up. Lift your toes up and draw the big toes down, but keep your baby toes up. And that just allows this nice support in the ankle. So let's do some work with that ankle area before Surya Namaskar by taking a rolled blanket or a rolled towel. Place the base of your toes right on the rolled blanket on the left foot. Step your right foot forward. Bend your back knee. Now, here's the thing. You have to keep the back knee bent. Okay? And for many of us, bending the back knee a lot is not going to be possible, but bend your left knee as much as possible with your heel pressing down. And it's your front leg that we're going to work in the movement, but the back leg stays bent the whole time. So on the inhale breath, place the hands right at your hips. On the exhale breath, just bend your front knee, keep your back knee bent, and reach your arms up. Now straighten the front leg, keep the back leg bent, take the hands behind you and draw down. So keep your back foot on the rolled blanket as you slowly just start to move the front leg into a bent leg position where you lift your arms up. It becomes kind of a mind game because you keep on wanting to straighten the back leg, but keep it bent as you straighten the front leg and draw down. And keep the back leg bent as you bend the front leg again. Could be very subtle with the back leg. Exhale, just take the heart a little bit closer to the straight front leg. Again, you're just bending and straightening the front leg as the back leg stays bent. And slowly straighten the front leg. So you're really working this muscle, the peroneus muscle, just opening up nicely on the in breath and exhale, straightening the front leg and drawing down. One more cycle here. Perhaps you're getting the hang of keeping the back leg bent and just doing the movement of straight to bent leg in the front leg. And now step off the blanket and just pause here for a moment. The back foot or the left foot could feel a little fiery. Now let's see if we can balance it out here by stepping the opposite foot to the rolled blanket and bend your back leg. And again, this gets a little tricky because the back leg wants to straighten. So keep the back leg bent slightly. Place your hands right at your hips to begin to open the chest. And as we slowly come to a straight leg version, you just bow forward, but you keep the back leg bent. Yeah, it just let your mind kind of get used to this for a moment here. And inhale, bend your front leg, keep your back leg bent. Oh, it's so hard to do this on the side for me. And exhale, straighten your front leg and just draw down. Keep your back leg bent. Inhale, keeping the back leg bent, bend the front leg. Open up in this Virabhadrasana too, in one pose. Exhale, keep the back leg bent, straighten the front leg, come down. Two more. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, keep the back leg bent, straight front leg. Inhale, bend the front leg, keep the back knee bent. Exhale, back knee stays bent, front leg straightens. Let's just do one more for fun. Inhale, bent front leg, bent back leg. Exhale, straighten. And step off to Tadasana. And as you step off, just pause here in your Tadasana. Pause with a nice lift of your toes, a nice spread to your toes, a nice engagement in the legs. Inhale, sweep your arms up and bend both knees. And as you do, you should notice a little bit more ease coming into your chair pose. As you draw your pelvis down, you keep this nice fullness to the chest. Slowly take your hands alongside your ankles to step your right leg back. With your right leg back, you can come to your blocks if you want to lift your chest a little bit away from the leg to give you a little bit more mobility. With your right foot back, inhale, lift your heel high away from the floor. Exhale, reach your heel straight back. Do that two more times. Inhale, lift your heel away. Exhale, press the heel back. Now let's do that with movement of the front leg while the back leg is slightly bent, similar to what we just did. So inhale with the knee bent, keep the back leg slightly, and for most of us, this is just a very slight bend of the back leg. Now straighten the front leg, keep the back leg bent. Inhale, draw your heart forward as you bend the front leg. Exhale, try to bend the back leg to straighten. One more time. Inhale and Exhale. Now step your back foot forward. Place your hands to your low back and rise up. Chances are you felt that all the way up to the hip area, even though the action was so focused on the ankle. So inhale, take your arms up again and spread your hands wide apart. Exhale, draw down into a lunge by taking your hands alongside your ankle. Step your left leg back. And just to get the ankle area a little bit more lubricated, lift your heel away from the mat on the back heel, the back leg. Exhale, just draw it way back. Just do a few more movements where you're lifting the heel high, just kind of engages the arches nicely, the three arches. Inhale, you lift your heel up. Exhale, you reach it back. All right, now let's try that. Again, you might want to use your blocks just so that you get a little bit more stability and you can get your ribs away from the front thigh. So this time we'll be working to keep the back leg bent, right? The front leg is what's doing all the movement here. So on the in breath, with the knee bent, front knee bent, you look forward. Keep your back leg bent as you come toward a straight leg in the front. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, back knee bends, back knee stays bent as you bend fully to front. And now come toward straight front leg and draw down. Few more cycles here where the front knee bends, back knee always stays in this bent leg position, straight in the front. We'll do that one more time. And inhale, exhale, you straighten the front leg. And step your back foot forward. Let's just take a break from this. Take the hands to the low back and rise up. And our break is going to be Surya Namaskar, a nice sun salute. So now that we brought our awareness to the ankle, and of course, the ankle affects the knee, you're probably feeling that, and maybe even in the last one, if you feel it all the way to the hip. So it's all related to these actions that we do. Let's combine them in our Surya Namaskar. So as you stand at the front of the mat, to welcome the day, to welcome the sun, as the sun salute does, open your chest and take the top of the throat back. Inhale, reach your arms up and slightly back. And exhale, come down to a forward fold where your knees are bent. Step the right leg back and bend your back leg just slightly. Inhale, lift yourself up, back knees bent just slightly. Exhale, take your hands down. Inhale, come to a plank or all fours position. Exhale, lower yourself down. Inhale, this time with the feet in that plantar flexion, with your feet pointed. Inhale, rise up, and exhale, soften. Now, with your feet in the dorsiflexion, as you tuck your toes under, reach your hands straight back. Inhale, rise up, just so that you can still feel the difference here in the action of the feet. Exhale and soften down. Press your toenails again. Do that one more time. Inhale, cobra pose with the feet pointed. Exhale, soften. With the feet flexed, dorsiflexion, reach your hands back. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, soften. Place your hands alongside your ribs and come through all fours position to downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, come to the three-legged dog By lifting your foot up, right foot up, look back at your right toes, spread your right toes, draw your right toes a little bit closer toward your face. Now reach your toes away from your face. Draw your toes toward your face. Lift your right hip higher. Just open up in that dorsiflexion action. Release your right foot down. With the left leg just lifted up, try to keep the hip points parallel. Look at the toes. Spread your toes. Now point the foot and flex your foot. This dorsiflexion action again. Lift your hip high. Keep the foot in that same position. Lift high and release your foot down. And walk, step, or hop your way to the front of the mat. Place your hands to your low back with your knees bent. Hug your elbows in and rise up. Again, reach up. Reach way back with your fingers spread with a nice openness to the heart. Exhale, release your hands down. Place your hands alongside your ankles and step back. Left foot steps back. Take your hands in the same lineup as your right ankle with the back knee bent. Inhale with the front leg bent. Just open the chest slightly. And again, using the blocks really helps you lift your chest away from the thighs. And now slowly straighten your front leg, keeping your back leg bent. Back knee bent. Inhale, bend the front knee with the back knee still bent. Open your chest more. Exhale, come toward a straight leg. And one more time, inhale, bend the front knee. Exhale, come toward straight leg, straight front leg, I meant. And now slowly release your hands down to the mat so that you can come back to a plank position or all fours and lower yourself to the mat with your toes tucked under. This time, interlace your fingers and press your forearms down, with your forearms pressing down, with your toes tucked under in that dorsiflexion action. Press your forearms, lift your knees up, lift your thighs up, press your forearms down. Just pause there. And as if you're going, just to work the back side of the legs nicely, reach your heels further back. Now reach your heels forward, reach your heels further back. So you're just kind of moving forward and back here. Reach forward and reach your heels back. And come back to center, take the knees down, take your hands right alongside your ribs, point your toes, and in breath, rise up. Exhale, breath, soften, come to all fours position, and then either child's pose or working the ankles again like we've been doing with your toes tucked under. Draw your pelvis back. Just find for you like what works to keep on working this area of the ankles. Or just take it easy and don't work the area of the ankle. Just allow yourself to just pause here. And as you're ready, make your way to a standing pose. Grab your towel again. And I know some people may not need this, but this pose that we've been working toward, we started in a squat pose lying on our back, and we're coming toward a squat pose, but this time with the feet, the heels elevated. And with your heels elevated, just get a little bit more. So bend your knees a lot. Bend your knees a lot and reach your hands forward. Bend your knees a lot and take your pelvis down. And maybe you can come all the way down. Maybe for you that so doesn't work. But if you can come all the way down, by all means do that. The squat position is just a very healthy position for many, many reasons. And it's not a position we do a lot in our culture, but it's just such a nice opening position. If this blanket is somehow annoying you under your heels, and of course you can come to a flat position. Just pausing here. Now, in the same way that we came down, see about coming up. So reach your hands forward, draw your heart forward, inhale and rise up and release your hands. I'm going to grab a chair and use that chair. You might have something available to you to assist you to come to a squat by instead of taking your hands in the air, you can just take your hands to something, hold on to that something, and come down easily now that we've done so much dorsiflexion of the ankle. And inhale, lift up. So if the legs cannot really work this pose nicely, one way to practice your squats during the day is when you get up and down off the chair, you come really forward on your seat. You take your feet back, so that's that dorsiflexion of the ankle that we've been working on. You're not using your hands, you're just trusting in the power of the legs. So this time you untuck your tailbone. So you reach the tailbone out as you come forward, and with a nice dorsiflexion in the ankles, you lift up. So hopefully you've got a chair that we can check this out, because you could do a lot of squat practice during your day. So you take your pelvis down toward the chair, toward the chair, toward the chair. And again, the ankles are getting a nice workout, and you come all the way without using the hands to come on the chair. Just working your legs, coming forward and lifting up. So let's lie on our back. Another pose we do a lot is this Sukirondrasana. And we do this to work the upper part of the leg. And today we've been working the feet, and that then affects the alignment of our knees, and now the alignment of our pelvis. You'll see that the alignment of the pelvis is very much related in this pose to what's happening in the ankle. To keep your foot active, to keep the ankle free of the lifted thigh as you interlace your fingers behind the thigh, or take your strap behind the thigh. Just pause here. And so often people feel like, oh, this is such a passive pose. But you're really doing this ankle work that we've been doing all class on both the left leg, where your fingers are interlaced right in the belly of your hamstrings, and the right leg, where you're really working on that dorsiflexion of the ankle, and maybe even trying to bring your baby toe closer to the outer ankle area. So you're really getting a nice engagement of the foot there. Draw your right knee a little bit further away from your right ribs. And this pose is really a great one to just free your back muscles as well. So as we work up the leg, the actions of the leg today, you just find this freedom in the hip area. And you can slowly release down to just pause here with both knees bent. And let's do that on the other side. So take the left foot just to the outer right knee. And again, that supination where it's like your ankle kind of twist so the foot comes toward your face. See if you can instead have this nice dorsiflexion action that we've been working on all class. And draw the right thigh closer to you. And just keep that freedom in the left ankle. And once you engage the toes, the ankle aligns, then you feel like the action of the knee is aligned and in balance, very asymmetric pose where one leg is bent in a totally different way than the other. See if you can get a lumbar curve. So you're pushing the thigh into the interlaced fingers so fully to achieve that curve. You're keeping all your 10 toes very enlivened and engaged. And take 2 more breaths here in this pose. And slowly release out of that to come once again with your feet down. As you're ready, you can extend your feet. This is our time to assimilate these actions. You can choose to stay in this Shavasana pose, or if you wish, move on to your daily activities. Thank you so much for the practice. Namaste.